Atheists do not have to positively believe that no God exists. However, some do. Once again, agnosticism and Gnosticism deal with knowledge. Atheism and theism deal with belief. If the question is, do you believe in a God, and you say no, you are an atheist. If you say you do believe, you're a theist. If you say you don't know if you believe, you're an atheist, since you don't believe in a God, and atheism is the lack or absence of belief in a God. Remember, there are only two positions you can take in response to this question regarding belief: believing or disbelieving, and saying you don't know is disbelief or absence of belief. Now, if the question is, do you know if there's a God, and you say yes, you are a Gnostic because you are claiming knowledge. Not only are you a Gnostic, you're a Gnostic theist because you are claiming to know there is a God, and you believe in a God. If you say, I don't know if there is a God, or that it is unknowable, then you are an agnostic. Notice that this is pertaining to knowledge claims and not belief claims. However, you can still be an atheist or a theist with regard to being an agnostic. Although agnosticism and atheism are addressing two separate questions, they are not mutually exclusive. If you say you're an agnostic, you've stated your position on what you claim to not know. But you haven't addressed the question of, do you believe in a God? So if you call yourself an agnostic, the question still stands: are you an agnostic atheist or an agnostic theist? You can be an agnostic atheist, someone who doesn't claim to know there is a God but does not believe in one, or you can be an agnostic theist, someone who doesn't claim to know there is a God but still believes in a God. Notice how we put the letter A in front of things we are without. Atheist literally means one without theism. Gnosticism is a claim of knowledge. Agnosticism literally means without knowledge. However, I find it somewhat silly to have a word for things we don't believe in. We don't refer to people who aren't Buddhists as a-Buddhists. We don't call people who aren't pacifists a-pacifists. We don't call people who don't believe in Santa Claus a-Santa Clausers. There are some atheists who happen to believe no gods exist. This is a position known as strong atheism, sometimes referred to as positive atheism. Strong atheists happen to believe that no gods exist, but they do not claim to know that no gods exist. Someone who claims to know that there are no gods would be known as a Gnostic atheist. Gnostic atheism is an extremely uncommon position to take. Now, back to the two possible claims regarding the existence of God. A weak atheist is someone who lacks belief in a God, but says that neither claim 1 or 2 is sufficiently supported by the evidence to justify acceptance. Therefore, they take the position B out of the two possible positions to take in response to claims 1 and 2. Now, this is where all the confusion lays. Weak atheism is very commonly confused with agnosticism. Many people refer to themselves as agnostics when they are actually weak atheists. Weak atheism is sometimes referred to as negative atheism. It is possible to simultaneously be an agnostic and a weak atheist, which we'd refer to as an agnostic weak atheist. Me personally, I happen to be an agnostic atheist. I don't claim to know there is no God, but I disbelieve in a God because I have had no evidence to support such a being existing. Now, as for the strong atheism and weak atheism position, I am a strong atheist because I happen to believe that there are no gods, and I have taken this position due to the absence of evidence. Strong atheism actually is a belief. It's completely different from a Gnostic atheist because I'm not claiming knowledge, just belief, in the same sense that I can say I believe leprechauns do not exist. I can say I believe gods do not exist. Now, some of you might say this position requires a leap of faith. Well, if you were using the word faith in that context, you're also saying it takes faith to believe that fairies, gremlins, Bigfoot, Santa Claus, and the flying spaghetti monster do not exist as well. Since atheism and agnosticism are not mutually exclusive, we can combine the terms as illustrated in this graph. Number 1 describes a weak atheist. Number 2 is actually stronger than strong atheism because it contains a claim of knowledge. These distinctions are important to acknowledge when discussing God claims. Did you learn something? If not, then I salute you because you already knew more than the majority of the American population regarding these bodies of knowledge. If you did learn something, then perhaps you have changed the term you use to identify yourself with respect to atheist, agnostic, and theist positions. Maybe you're an atheist who just realized that you're simultaneously an agnostic. Perhaps you were a self-proclaimed agnostic who actually just found out he's a weak atheist. Regardless, thanks for watching.